Welcome back to another episode of the Scale Smart podcast. I'm your host, Jacob, and also the founder of NetScale Growth. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by the co-founder of Volosoft, Halil Kalkan. Halil, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Pleasure, it's a pleasure. Halil, just before we get into the flow of the podcast, I want you to kickstart off by telling the audience a little bit more about yourself, what your experience consists of, and what you guys do at Volosoft.
I'm a computer engineer actually. I have been in business almost 20 years, and in first 10 years I worked in a few companies as a product developer, team lead, and so on. Then I have created an open source project named the ABP Framework. And actually, people started to use it. I like it. It's for helping developers for daily development tasks to achieve their goals easier, to focus on their own business rather than implementing common infrastructure requirements. So they liked it too much. After 2 years, I implemented some product based on my ABP framework project, which is commercial product, of course. Then it starts also selling, and then I quit my job and established the Volosoft company with two friends of me in the same company, and also they are from my university friends. Then we just be growing in the last 9 years. We are still working on the same project. Of course, it grew too much. We have introduced many tools, features, and different ways of developing software in this long period. Now it's stable, used by thousands of companies in the world. We are selling more than 100 different countries in the world, like hundreds of thousands of people using the open source and commercial version now. Now we have around 30 people working completely on this project.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that journey, and it's great to hear where you guys have come from to where you are now as well. So, get into the first question, right? You guys have become a major player in the open source .NET ecosystem, right? So, what have been some of the biggest challenges in scaling an open source first business model?
Yeah, actually, if you try to build a software product and directly try to sell, it's harder. But since we have started open source from the first day, and 2 years remain completely open source, still open source part is the most important part of our product, but we are also working on commercial. But in the beginning, we didn't make any goal to take money from this project. So it grew naturally and organically. We have created, actually, I was alone mostly. I have created articles, tutorials on the web in different platforms. I have building the project on GitHub, which is called a social coding platform for developers. So it's a very important point. So developers can find new projects and so on. So it was started like that and grow organically. Then to scale, of course, you need more quality. Like when you especially create something commercial, expectations will be much more higher than an open source project. So we have created tutorials, video courses, like even created a book that is sold on Amazon now. Content creation is the most important thing here, and good documentation. There are many open source projects in the market or in GitHub we see, but they have very less documentation or poor documentation. Probably they are not being succeed because of that. Okay, we see the project, but how to use it, how to solve problems when we have on development and so on. It's like that.
Yeah, really good points you've made there as well, especially regarding the content creation and the education regarding things. Because I think one thing people get wrong nowadays is they go to sell far too quick, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's something which I've overcome with some of my clients as well. Is shifting that approach from the old style of selling to the new style of selling. A sale doesn't happen like that anymore. You have to build the trust. You have to build the credibility, and you're only going to do that by nurturing and building rapport with that prospect.
Yeah, being trustable is very important because developers or companies taking this product and working on it maybe a few years to build their own product. So how they will trust you that you will survive in the next years and you will continue supports, because there are many big companies like Microsoft, Google producing frameworks and libraries for developers. People trust them because they are big companies, but like for companies, it's hard to get trust. But when you be transparent, which is very important, on GitHub, from the first day we are explaining what we are doing on the framework, what's the goal of this framework, and so on. It's important to get trust.
100%. Because the thing with the trust is, even if that prospect doesn't buy now, you've built the trust. So when they're coming at it later, you're going to be staying top of mind. And I think that's so important that people don't think about that process. If the sale doesn't happen now, then they think, oh, that's it over. But if you've built the trust and the credibility, then you're going to be top of their mind when they look at getting a solution like you have. So going into the next question, Halil, with so many different emerging frameworks and developer tools, how are you guys staying ahead of the curve and making sure you stand out within the market?
Yeah, it's also a hard question. We are doing many things, but actually there is no one answer of this question. Mainly, first of all, we are following the technology from the front ahead, and we are implementing the trends. For example, we have started the project as like for building monolith applications first. Then, like 5 or 6 years ago, we have rewritten all the framework because it was not so compatible to microservice architecture, which was very popular in recent years, or distributed and modular systems. So now our framework supports these kind of large-scale systems much better than the previous generation. So this was the most important change in our product. Of course, as I said, we are following the technology and implementing, sometimes even like creating technologies, like creating some ways that people are trying to solve themselves in custom ways, but we are introducing some standard ways to implement these kind of things. So being generative, being innovative, and like understanding the challenge and understanding the developer needs, understanding your customer, actually very important. We are lucky in this point because we are also developers and we have created many products with the technology, and we know what's the problem of developers. This one advantage. Of course, we are still in competitive in market, and there are many tools and libraries like that. But we think we find a niche area here also, because our product is providing end-to-end solution, like all architecture, from the database layer to user interface, everything included. So when they start our product, they also learn architectural best practices and how to build scalable software and so on. So this is our advantage also.
There's some really good advantages which you've got there. And shifting away now, I want to just ask you this question regarding AI and how you think AI is going to take its hit on the industry and what you guys are doing. So how are you guys integrating AI into your offerings, and where do you see it kind of changing the industry in the future?
Yeah, actually it will change too much, because even now most of the people thinks that AI is already programming good. We don't think exactly like that. It's in beginning now. But in the future, it will be more strong and better programmer. What we are solving is actually mainly like developers are repeating themselves again and again to build features, and framework automates some stuff, and they don't need to write same code again and again and focus on their business. But AI also helped us. So AI is a competitor actually in our area, because now programming is easier. They don't write all the repeating code themselves. So this is maybe one potential dangerous for us. However, now especially currently weakness of AI is cannot produce code like framework quality and with security considerations and scalable and especially distributed systems and microservice systems, modular system. This kind of architectural patterns. Very hard for AI now because AI focus on single code base or a small context to generate code. But creating a distributed system needs to think about very big architectural details and so on, connect everything, each other, organize teams and so on. I think a framework like ABP and plus a code writer like AI or code assistant like AI is a good combination. We are focusing on that. We are trying to integrate AI capabilities with the ABP framework development flow so developers can take power of the platform, ABP platform, don't think about security problems, authentication, or other like critical things like scalability and so on, and let the AI to generate more standard code. So this is a good combination, we think. So it affects, of course, the industry, and but there are many unknowns yet. Actually, people tries to understand. We are also trying to understand what AI can do, what cannot do. Probably it will be able to do everything in the future, but for now, I mean, we are still trying to understand. Everybody trying to understand how to use it, how to adapt in business, and so on. How can we trust to AI to complete business without asking us, and so on. So we are like investigating and spending our time too much on this topic in these days. As a beginning, we are now currently working on a data analytics tool for AI. Like you give your data and ask questions, and it's your data, like talking with your data. And we will be working on, we will follow these happenings in the AI industry.
And over the next 6 to 12 months, Halil, what are some of the goals you've got for the company in terms of expansion, growing, potentially opening up new markets?
Okay, we of course technically we will continue to work on to be a better platform for developers by providing more infrastructure for especially distributed and modular system, which is harder to create by AI, as I said. Like merge the AI's power with the ABP platform and so on. Many technical things we have roadmap, and maybe we can work years. In the other perspective, for marketing or growing, we are working with nowadays people learning on video resources, to be honest, not reading so much content. So we are working with some influencers on YouTube. We think that if they know our product better, they can talk more. There are many actually community members. They are creating content for us, not for us actually. They are just creating content for the ABP framework. They even don't talk about that with us. They just create, Actually, our goal is like that. People understand its power more and create contents for this platform. Since it's open source, it's more reasonable. Like people are creating many content for generic programming frameworks or libraries. So this is one of our goals, and we think when this happens more, we will scale more. This is the important barrier we are actually trying to work on and trying to achieve the goals. Currently like that. Of course, we are doing more marketing activities, advertisements, and so on, but just standard things to make a bigger company like that.
Amazing, amazing. And if people wanted to reach out to you, Halil, and potentially find out more about what you guys do or have a conversation, where's the best place for them to reach out?
Yeah, actually, just we are producing an open source tool. They can follow our repository on GitHub, like they can follow our changes, and they can reach us from volosoft.com. Like they can find a contact form if they want to communicate with us. There are some people communicating sometimes with us to be a partner or solution partner of our product, and we have some solution partners in different countries, especially to build customer specific projects based on the ABP framework. We are getting this kind of requests, and we are just forwarding this request to our solution partners, and they are successfully building customer needs on top of the ABP framework.
Well, Halil, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. It's been great having you on.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.